Kashmir, Between Faith and Forgetfulness, a critique of political betrayal, spiritual decline, and the yearning for moral awakening. By Abu Athar. In every generation there emerge a few rare souls who rise above self-interest and serve humanity with sincerity. Jalaluddin Shah from Srinagar is one such man, a geologist and a civil servant who worked tirelessly to build a brighter future for the youth of Kashmir. He did not act for power, wealth, or recognition, but from a sense of divine accountability. Only those who see themselves answerable before the Creator can transcend the boundaries of self. When I listened to Mr. Shah's life story, I was moved to reflect upon a deeper question. How many among us still live with such consciousness of God? Can we, as Kashmiris and as Muslims, stand before our Lord on the Day of Judgment and say with conviction, "O Allah, I conveyed your message to my people"? The long shadow of subjugation. The tragedy of Kashmir did not begin in 1947. For centuries, the land has been ruled by outsiders, with only brief intervals of self-governance under leaders like Zainul Abidin or the Chak dynasty. Generations of subjugation dulled the nation's vision, burying its moral and intellectual vitality beneath the weight of servitude. And yet, God endowed this land with extraordinary beauty, and its people with sharp minds. But a fertile mind without moral strength is like a garden without fragrance. It was not until the late 19th century that the first light of awakening broke through the clouds of ignorance. It came through Mirwais Allama Ghulam Rasul Shah, rightly called the Sir Syed of Kashmir. In 1899, he launched an educational movement that established schools and madrasas across the valley, inspiring an entire generation to seek knowledge and dignity. Within 2 decades, this movement transformed into a political struggle for freedom. Out of this awakening arose doctors, engineers, teachers, and scholars. But amid this progress, the moral compass began to falter. The land of Sufis, where saints once purified hearts, started losing the very spirit of the faith it professed to love.
The secular temptation. Then came the rise of Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah, a man educated at Aligarh University, yet a heart of many contradictions. During his student years in undivided India, he came into contact with socialist and secular circles that separated faith from politics. When he returned to the valley, he found the traditional religious environment suffocating and outdated. The revered Mirwais Muhammad Yusuf Shah introduced him to the people, believing him to be a sincere champion of freedom. He could not foresee that this young man, inspired by the secular ideologies of his time, would one day redefine the destiny of Kashmir. Under the influence of the Indian National Congress, Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah gradually turned the Muslim Conference into the National Conference, a symbolic shift from faith to secularism. That single decision marked a fatal turn in the political and spiritual journey of Kashmir. What followed was not liberation, but deeper enslavement. Those who opposed the new secular order were silenced, tortured, and exiled. Thousands of families were uprooted and forced to flee to Pakistan and Azad Kashmir. Religious leaders were imprisoned, their homes sealed, their voices crushed. More than 300,000 Muslims were massacred in Jammu. The valley that once echoed with the zikr of saints was now filled with the cries of the oppressed. All this to prove loyalty to Delhi. Sheikh Abdullah, once hailed as a liberator, became the architect of a new bondage. He freed Kashmir from the Dogra monarchs only to deliver it to the political heirs of the RSS and BJP. Was this the democracy he promised? Was this the destiny for which generations prayed? When power is divorced from morality, man ceases to be human. He becomes a beast in search of domination. A nation divided against itself. After 1947, those intoxicated by the dream of secular politics found themselves in power, while the soul of the nation lay shattered. Brothers turned against brothers, families split over political loyalties, blood relations broke under the weight of ideology. These were not Hindu-Muslim divisions. They were the wounds of a single body, inflicted by its own hands. The urge to dominate, that ancient instinct to control and command, consumed the leaders and poisoned the people. The result was spiritual collapse. The Kashmiri Muslim, though deeply religious in ritual, became hollow in substance. Mosques filled, but hearts emptied. Faith was confined to words, while deeds followed the philosophies of Machiavelli and Chanakya, where deceit, ambition, and manipulation replaced sincerity, justice, and humility.
The mirror of the Quran. It is time for every Kashmiri Muslim to stand before the mirror of the Quran. The Quran commands honesty, fairness, and worship of the one God alone. It forbids lying, deception, and exploitation. Yet what dominates our markets, our offices, and our politics today is falsehood and greed. Our names remain Abdullah and Abdur Rahman, but our actions betray the book we claim to follow. We visit the shrines of saints, yet ignore the purity of soul they preached. We perform rituals, but forget the purpose of worship, Tazkiyah al-Nafs, the purification of the self. The Quran warns, "They have hearts but do not understand, eyes but do not see, and ears but do not hear. They are like cattle, no, even more astray." 7:1-7:9. What use is the recitation of the Quran if its message does not transform our character? What value is prayer if dishonesty fills our dealings? Zikr on the tongue is meaningless if deceit rules the heart. As Iqbal said, "You may utter the words La ilaha illa Allah, but if your heart and vision are not truly Muslim, your words are empty." The way forward. The decay of our society cannot be repaired by individual success stories alone. Hanging a chandelier in a collapsing building will not save it. What we need is a reconstruction of the foundation, a moral awakening rooted in Tawheed, in the realization that only Allah is the ultimate source of power, justice, and sustenance. Until we rebuild our character upon truth, honesty, and faith, no political freedom will bring us peace. Secular ideologies have promised us progress, but delivered spiritual ruin. It is time to return, not to rituals, but to the living spirit of Islam, not to the politics of manipulation, but to the ethics of accountability before God. Kashmir's beauty still whispers to its people, "Awaken your souls." This land that once nurtured saints deserves a generation of the pure-hearted once again. Those who will not bow before thrones, who will not trade faith for favor, who will not mistake servitude for freedom. Until that happens, the tears of this valley will not dry.